All right, guys. So we got this crazy Onslaughter build is what we got here. So with this Onslaughter build, the most important thing on this build is going to be your Force of Nature and your Raging Inferno. That's like the absolute most important thing. So we're going to go ahead and run down our build, and we're going to explain to you why this build is so great and why it can do billions of damage with the right weapons. Though I don't have the right weapons, but I still can do like hundreds of millions of damage. So here we go. So we got the what burns within. It got to gain increase the incendiary damage. Well, the storm, it increases your status effect damage. Bullet Storm, it applies status effects. And then your augment is going to be Force of Nature. So what Force of Nature does is when Onslaughter is active, your gun damage dealt to enemies will prime them for a duration, and then will detonate. That's like the bread and butter right there, is the detonation. So the whole point of this is to pop this, do your gun damage, get some stacks going, and then you use your capstone storm cutter, and then it's going to detonate, and it's going to do a ton of damage because it can do 100% of gun damage dealt. So that's pretty much what it is with incendiary damage. That's pretty much what it does. And then your this one is whenever Almond applies shock to an enemy, he gains increased critical hit chance for a duration. Whenever Almond applies burning to an enemy, he gains increased critical hit damage for a duration. So we got burning weapons is what we got. So we got Dragon's Breath. Almond activates his ordnance. His next gunshot is converted to incendiary damage, staggering damage enemies and getting increased damage dealt. Right there, 100%. That's crazy. Then electrical fire, got to put one in here because whenever Almond burns an enemy, he also shocks them. So that's going to be a lot of damage right there. Then we're going to go to the Crucible. And then with this, Gathering the Storm, Almond deals increased elemental damage for duration. Executioner, Almond gains increased critical hit damage. Bolt action, whenever Almond reloads his gun, gain bonus shock damage for duration. Action skill damage has a chance to critically hit. The Raging Inferno, this is like the main thing because whenever your action skill damage has a chance to critically hit, and then additionally critical hits from direct action skill damage applies burn. That's huge because whenever the detonation goes off, your action skill is gonna critically hit, and it's gonna critically hit for millions. Then the Wild Heart, Almond gains increased status effect damage and hazard damage. So that's pretty much the build right there. So let's go to our specializations. You want to try to get your main ones you want to get is in the zone. I am a gun and a honed mind. I got this one because it's the best one that I can get for now. But you really want Groundbreaker. That right there is going to do huge amount of damage right here. But I can't get it right now. I just need a few more points. So that's kind of what you want to get with. So let's go into our gear, right? So this isn't really the right gear that you need because I'm using this shotgun right here. It has incendiary damage. Pretty good. It goes good with our build. But what you want is you want a spread launcher is really what you want. Because the spread launchers do an insane amount of damage. But so this is like, so if you have bad gear, like you could still do it with bad gear. So I have terrible gear. I'm using the Elementalist for the skill damage. I'm using this energy shield for the amp. And then this right here is just pretty much does nothing. So it is what it is. So what you want is for your firmware, you want the Action Fist. You want 2 in Action Fist, and then you want 2 in this one right here for your action skill damage, and then your action skill damage by 30% and then 15%. That's kind of what you want is two in each of these. That's like the main thing. I don't have an extra one of these, so that's why I didn't use it. But I'm using the triple bypass for that. For the extra elemental damage dealt, it does a pretty good amount. That's kind of what we're using here. So this is what we got going, guys. Yeah, if you guys know anything better, then let me know. Of course, my gear is not the best. We all know that. But even with, I just want to show you guys, even with terrible gear, you could still slay these bosses. Even like one of the the top hardest bosses, like the hive mind, like all those like hard bosses that are pretty tough to beat. You could just annihilate them. But all right, guys. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys like this build. If you guys have better builds, let me know in the comments of what your build is. Let me know what you guys gear are using. Because there's millions of different types of stuff out there. So all right, guys. Peace.